We are live. Hello, everybody. I have so much energy and I just am like, okay, I have the energy. Let me do another live because there's things that I want to say. There's things I want to share with you. And I know if it's coming up, there are people who are wanting to hear it. So as you hop on, as always, guys, say hello. Let me know you're here. Because I like to see who's with me. I like to see who's new in my world, who's returning, all the things. So if you're watching the replay, let me know that down below. Fingers crossed, comments show up. So yeah, let me just ramble a little bit while I wait for some people to hop on and see if you can join me live. I want to talk about the energy right now. So part of the reason I'm feeling so energized, typically I'm pretty energized anyway, but I know with this last new moon and the eclipse, I really, really felt it. I'm someone who's very in tune with the moon cycles. I always notice that I feel on the new and full moon, I always will kind of feel the energies. And I'm always kind of aware that if something not so good feeling is coming up, that it's coming up for me to clear it. And I'm really on top of my shit with like clearing stuff when it comes up. And I always welcome it at this point because I know what's on the other side of that. I know that every time I release something, every time I make space, it opens me wide up to receive more, and I always feel lighter and more energized. And so I would love to know, whoever's joining, say hello, let me know who it is so I can see who's here with me. And let me know too, like, did you feel the energy with the eclipse? I'm picking up a pattern that December is a very pivotal month for many people. I know this entire year, if you've been in my world for a while, you've watched my glow up, you've watched things shift, and I'm seeing it with a lot of women in this space. And I keep getting over and over again that December is a really pivotal month. So I would love to know, like, what did you feel with the eclipses? I know for me, like the night of the eclipse, or like, I don't remember exactly what night it was. I remember Saturday night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I just was like, all this old stuff, just internal mind stuff, right? Like internal mind programs was coming up for me to really kind of face off with and say, there's no freaking way I'm bringing this into my next chapter. Like, no way. So I did my release work and now I have all this energy and I just want to share it with you while I'm here. So I would love to know how you felt the energies of that, if you feel like sharing. And what I want to talk with you about today is to like get to the topic of the video is, how do you know for sure that you're going to receive your manifestation? Because where I see so many women staying stuck and not aligning to what they want is they get overwhelmed with doubt, okay? So it's like you'll feel up one moment, excited in your power, like, yeah, this is happening, I'm gonna claim everything I want. And then that immediately is followed by like a very low feeling emotion. And where people get lost is they're not doing the internal work to, kind of recalibrate and really alchemize that in-between part. I see some people hopping on, hello, and some hearts, thank you. And this is obviously like why coaches exist. This is why I do the work I do, because I know that that in-between part's not easy, but it is in that in-between part where you are literally, you're either choosing to invest in creating more of what you don't want or to actually get to the other side and create what you do want. And I see some comments, hello. Jasona, am I saying your name right? Hello, welcome. Excuse me, I don't wear my glasses when I go on live. My phone screen's tiny and far away, but thank you for being here. I'm happy you're here. So there's a lot of wobble in between, and this is where most people get scared, right? I want you to think about, let's talk about the manifestation process for a minute. I want you to think of, you have a cup, right? And you are pouring, like, let's say you've got coffee in there and the coffee's representing like the old negative thoughts that you don't want anymore, okay? The cup representing your mind, and when it keeps filling and it overflows, that's it manifesting in your physical reality, right? Like kind of getting pushed out. So you've identified, okay, I have these old negative thought patterns, these old negative beliefs, these negative programs running that aren't serving me, that are creating very real results and experiences for me that I don't like. Let me go in and purify myself internally. Let me purify my mind, my beliefs, my emotions, all the things, right? So you start filling it up with water, okay? At first, as you start filling in the water to purify, the old coffee from the bottom is going to be pushed up, right? Like that's got to purge first before you get to the point where it's just purely what you want, the water, the purified state. Does that make sense? Let me know if this example resonates, because I love to use examples because sometimes it just hits differently and you'll understand. So in the manifestation process, when we go in and we're working on changing our internal state and we're choosing something new and we're working on getting our energy behind it, we have to be detached from what the F is going on in the outside world, because there are going to be times where it looks like it's not working. There are going to be times where it looks like you're saying, I'm changing all of this within me. I'm choosing different. I did this scary thing. I invested in myself. I'm taking the time, whatever it is. Why do I still see the coffee? You know? And then this is where people, you know, if you're not emotionally strong, if you're not mentally strong and aligned, you're going to be really frustrated and start reacting and giving your power away, or you give up and then you got to start all over, and it's like the same thing. And then you make the story of it doesn't work, when really all that was needed was for you to persist. If you would have just kept at it, it would have been only a short matter of time before you saw the desired results. Does this make sense? Oh, I said your name right? Perfect. Okay. And cool. I'm glad you like this topic. Wonderful. So that is where people go wrong. Okay, this is where people repeat these karmic cycles of just never getting what they want. Okay, this is where people go in and solidify shitty stories that don't serve them, like, I don't get what I want, things never work, no matter what I do, I don't get what I want, I'm not chosen, I'm not supported, like whatever it is, whatever your story is. And we all have, like, it kind of boils down to the same stories, right? Because they're going to be stories basically that tell us we don't get what we want, or we're not good enough, or, you know, whatever. But everyone has their own unique little spin on this because of what they've been through and the conclusions they've made about life. And so that's actually one of my gifts. I love going in and helping you see what story's going on so you can shift it. So sometimes we're consciously, let's talk about that a little bit. Sometimes we're very aware of what stories and patterns we have going on that aren't serving us. And sometimes there's like deeper emotional stuff going on that until we address that, we're going to feel powerless to release the old stories. I've lived that out in many areas of my life. Other times we're staying stuck because we don't see it, right? Our subconscious can be holding programs that go back to childhood that we just aren't aware of. And so it's like, how can you shift it if you don't see it? And that's what I do, right? I help you go in and really see it, because once you see it, you know what your work is. But once you see it, it is up to you to shift it, right? So it's not enough to just say, oh, I want this thing, and then continue being the same old version of you, you know? Because then you're going to have split energy. You're not unified. You're saying on one hand you want this thing, but then you're still telling the old stories, you're having the old emotions, you're having the old behaviors that contradict it. Split energy equals stuck, and it's a very uncomfortable place to be. You really, you know, the internal work is not comfortable. It's not. It really takes being willing to look at our pain, our triggers, our fears, our doubts, our disbelief, all of it, right? Really look at it and be willing to, in the face of it, choose different. You don't just choose once, say, oh, I'm loved, I'm wanted, I'm chosen, I'm getting everything I want, I'm successful, I'm abundant, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, and then continue telling the old story and think it's going to change. You have to like change who you're being. So this is how you will know when your manifestation is for sure guaranteed. There will be a point along your journey of you doing this internal alignment work where it doesn't matter to you anymore what's going on outside. You've landed deeply in knowing this is a for sure thing for me. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm going to receive everything I want. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm capable. I know that even when I don't see movement, even when my human eyes cannot perceive movement in my 3D reality, I know that things are being orchestrated behind the scenes. I know that things are shifting. I know that everything I've asked for is coming together in the most perfect way. So when you land really deeply in that internal state of like being really stable and strong and secure within yourself and really deep in that knowing, and you feel this sense of peace, it's kind of like in the Bible when they talk about the peace that surpasses all understanding, right? Like, it's not going to make sense. So when you land in the state where you know, and you're solid in that, and you're not needing things outside to validate it for you in order for you to have faith, that's how you know for sure, like, you've tipped the scales. That's how you know it's, you know, you're not worried about it, because you know it's any instant it's going to come in, and you know it can happen quickly. And you know that you don't need to logically understand, because do miracles make logical sense? No, they don't. They don't. They just don't. Are human. Let me read these real quick. Let me scooch up so I can see them. Hi, Jasmine. Welcome. Okay, she says, you're on it. Jasona says, I'm on a journey of manifesting self-love. Reclaiming your tits. And also reclaiming the word tits. I wanted to ask, am I able to add your insights on manifestation to my... I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Are you talking about like reconnecting with your femininity and your body and your sensuality? I mean, guys, it doesn't matter what you want to manifest. The process is the same. It is 100% an internal journey. And you will know that it is guaranteed the moment you land in deeply knowing that it's guaranteed and you're not bothered or triggered by the outside world. Does that mean when you're in the middle of some unfavorable circumstances, some things that you don't prefer, or someone does something you don't like, or, you know, money feels tight or whatever, does that mean that you're going to like love it? No, you don't. You're human. You don't need to be like totally unbothered by it, but you land back in knowing like, it's okay. I know this is temporary. I know what's going on out here is not any limitation I'm perceiving in my outer reality is not an accurate representation, because I know I am an infinite being and I believe in the power of my mind and I trust myself. I'm going to keep showing up and aligning no matter what. And I know it's a done deal. When you land in that stabilized internal state, that's how you know you're going to get your manifestation. But the reason it seems like it takes time, let's talk about that. I feel like that would be a good thing, like a good little thing to segue into before we close out. I'm going to share, if you guys are familiar with the story of King Arthur, you know, he doesn't know he's a king at first. And this was like for his protection, right? He just thought he was a common person. This is like our ego. I did a post about this yesterday. You know, our ego wants to keep us safe. Our ego doesn't want us to know our true power, because it just thinks that it's not safe, and it wants to keep you the same, and it wants to keep you small in what it knows and what's familiar, right? But when he realizes that he's a king, all of a sudden he has to go through this huge expansion process, right? Like, this inner work is not comfortable. It's not comfortable because it's going to require you to change. It's going to require you to change at a cellular level, like everything. It's not just in the mind, it's getting your body on board with it too. So actually, before I finish telling the story, let me go back to how you know for sure your manifestation is coming in. It's when it moves from just being in your mind and it's landing in your body. So let me lead you through a quick little, hopefully this isn't too disjointed, guys. I want to lead you through just a quick like 2-second thing to help you understand what this is. So I want you just, if you want, close your eyes, hands over your heart, take a nice deep breath in, hold, and then sigh it out. Feel your shoulders drop, feel the stress melt away. And I want you to just imagine that you just received everything you wanted. Like the thing you've been trying so hard for, the thing you've been asking for, the thing you don't even believe you can have. Like, I want you to imagine for a split second, like, let yourself fucking go there. Like, how would it feel if you got that? Like, you probably feel tingly and excited, like maybe you feel relaxed. I know whenever I land, I call this like living in the end, like Neville Goddard talks about. When I let myself go there, it's a full body experience. It's not just in my head like a running list. It's like, I feel my chest expand, like my heart's bursting with joy. Like I feel deep belly breaths. I feel so proud and relaxed and happy and like grateful and excited and like just all the things. Like when you can keep landing in that state without any physical proof, that's how you know your manifestation is guaranteed, because that's a sign that you're getting everything on board. You're getting your whole being on board. Okay, so this expansion process, like when you've identified where you want to go, it's going to require you to change everything. You're going to have to let go of the small ways that you see yourself. You're going to have to release the limiting beliefs. And we talked about how sometimes we know what those are, and oftentimes they're subconscious and you're not even seeing it, which is like why we work with someone, right? Someone who's good at seeing that. I'm a projector in human design, so that's like one of my just natural skills. Funny enough, I can see it for other people, but it was like quite a skill to develop to see it in myself. And that's actually something I teach you one-on-one and also in my mastermind, which I'll share at the end about that. I teach you how to really become self-aware and start learning this for yourself so that you're able to pick up on how you're holding yourself back, because that's how you take your power back, right? So this expansion process is going to require you to change, not just your mind, but like really change your internal state. If you are just like trying to think better thoughts or just trying to feel better, but you don't actually believe that you're going to receive it, you're still going to feel tense and constricted, right? Like you're not going to have that full like internal experience of like, oh, it's really mine. Like this is really going to happen. So that's your work, to keep like doing the alignment till you get in that space and you're really strong and you know that it's happening no matter what. And maybe you're not thrilled about current circumstances, but you're not bothered and triggered by it because you know that its time is running out. Okay, so King Arthur, back to the story, guys. Once he realizes he's a king, he goes into the dark forest and he is like tested to his maximum limits, right? Because he has to learn a whole new way of being. He can't be a king while he's thinking the same thoughts he used to think. He can't be a king and rule a nation when he's feeling the same way about himself, when he's operating a certain way, right? Like you really have to change at a cellular level who you're being, and that's not an easy process. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. It's simple because it's just, you gotta align with it. You have to get rid of whatever's not in alignment with it, but it's not easy because we're not taught this. We're not taught to master our emotions and our minds. We're not. We're taught to live on autopilot and constantly give our power away. We're taught to numb out. We're taught to just be good little humans and go to school and get a good job and just sit in a fucking cubicle and be miserable and then go over drink and overeat on the weekends and do drugs and do destructive things because you're miserable. And people just live that out, right? Like, if you're in my world, it's because you've become aware that there's more available to you. So it's like you have to be willing to like go through the fire and do the process to get to the other side, right? So he goes in the dark forest and he's being tested. His guides are testing him. And there's a point where one of the guides says, he's going to break. We need to stop. We need to stop because he's going to break. And there's another guide who's wiser and understands the process. And that guide says, no, he needs to break. Because you have to let life completely stretch you and crack you open. You have to completely surrender. You have to let go of everything you think you know, of everything you've experienced, of every like sensation you're used to feeling in your body. Like you have to just like completely allow yourself to be fully renewed. That's how you fully embody. That's how you align. That's how you collapse time. That's how you quantum leap. That's how you get to the other side. That's how you get your manifestation. That's how you receive everything you want. You become the person you need to be in order to hold it. So this is the work. And if you have been feeling this energy in December of like, this is a pivotal point in your life, I fully encourage you to show up for yourself and do the inner work and do what you need to do and invest in yourself if that's what you're being called to do, and get the support if that's what you need. Put the time in. It doesn't happen on its own. Manifestation, I say this a lot, it's instant. Manifestation is always instant based off of who we're being, how our internal state is, what frequency we're operating at, right? Like it's an instant manifestation. Everything in 3D is an instant manifestation of that. So your work is to hold the frequency and become the version of you who's aligned with everything you want. When that fully clicks into place, when you're solid in that, you're going to receive everything you want instantly, effortlessly, and it is easy. So you're not like, manifesting isn't like about trying to change things in the outer and make something happen. It's about taking all that energy and putting it on you and really working on changing who you are. And I know this can be an interesting, like kind of complicated concept because people are like, what do you mean change who I'm being? So that's why I wanted to come in today and give you guys a lot of examples and help you understand this in a deeper way. I'm seeing lots of hearts. Let me See, I am fire. Thank you. Yes, I am fire. And I have so much energy, and I just like really wanted to share it because I know so many people are like at this crossroads where, you know, oh my gosh, and I've been there so many times where I'm at a crossroads and I'm looking around to my reality thinking all these options suck. I don't want any of these. And when you're there, that is an opportunity for you to go within and trust your heart, trust your desires, trust your vision above all else, and tune out the outside world, release the perceived limitations, and really freaking work on yourself. A couple weeks of dedication, of really going in and being really like, this is the most loving thing you can do, is discipline your mind and your emotions this way. A couple weeks of this can change your entire life forever. And once you learn how to do this, you have this skill forever. That's the thing. Like, my intention with my mastermind, or if you work with me one-on-one, is that you're not going to need to learn how to manifest ever again, because I'm going to give you everything you need to know to really master this for yourself, so that in the future, you know your power, and manifestation can be a fun thing for you instead of this like really painful, shitty process. So I want to share with you really quickly about the mastermind for those of you who are interested. So Wealthy Woman Revolution is my mastermind. It's 6 weeks. You have a whole online portal school that I have created with my teachings where I really break it down. And if you've been following me, you know I like to keep it simple. I am not about rules. I really have done the trainings and the teachings in a way to help you really go in and choose how you want it to go for you, right? And really just learn how to master your energy. That's what this is about. It's not about a certain proven method, right? It's literally just about you mastering you and really learning how to trust yourself. So you have lifetime access to all of the teachings and all of the materials and all of the things. I've poured my heart and soul into that. And then we do weekly calls for 6 weeks. So you have me there really able to help fully support you. Again, one of my gifts is to be able to help you see what the subconscious sabotaging programs are that you haven't been able to see, and then help you shift it and alchemize that and move through it. And, you know, really just support you as you go through this process, because it's not easy. It goes against everything we've been told. There's going to be times where you think you're delusional and you're going to want to give up. And that's not what I want for you. I want you to fully get to the other side. I want you to fully jump in and embrace this and really own your power and know who you are and learn how to use it, because your life will never be the same. So there's the online school part, and then there's like, you know, soul work for you that you can do just to like help you dive more deeply into yourself. There's the calls, there's a VIP upgrade option if you want messaging support as well. What else? The calls are recorded, and I do them. It's a mastermind. It's not just like me on Facebook talking to you. Like, I want to actually interact with you and really like connect. So I do keep it, the spaces capped. It's a rolling mastermind, so you can join at any time so long as there's a space. You know, I can do a wait list if needed. Because I really want to make sure on the Zoom calls that like we're connecting and this is landing, and I want you to feel really seen and heard and understood, because that's an important part of shifting. And those calls, I record them and then upload them to the portal, so you'll have lifetime access to the calls as well. Let me read this. She says, yes, your body and your sensuality. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're wanting to manifest reconnecting with your body and your sensuality, this is something I've done. It again is an internal process. It's going in and finding where the limiting beliefs, where the past hurts and traumas, and where the programs running that aren't serving you, that are not allowing you to be fully self-expressed in your body, right? I actually I was just reading, I always recommend this book to my clients, Women Who Run with the Wolves. This book, it's about myths and stories of the wild woman archetype. This book really helped me so much, like release any remaining shame I had around what it means to be a woman, and really learn how to trust my intuition. So I highly recommend that book if you're looking for a good book. Yeah, and the mastermind, guys, like you are mastermind or one-on-one, you can bring anything to the table. Nothing's off limits. I've shared my story before in some of my other videos. Like, I'm someone who really had to overcome obstacles in every area of my life, in my body, in my sexuality. I'm someone who experienced a lot of abuse, right? I had anxiety because of all the trauma I experienced. I had so many health issues. I had an autoimmune, I had cystic acne, I had like so many things. I had, like, took me so long to find my purpose. I was in like jobs that really killed my soul. I had issues with money. Like, I grew up with, my father's a physician, like makes really good money, but we always were in debt. There was like poverty consciousness stuff to clear. Like, guys, relationships, oh my God, I can't even go there right now. Like, but it was like dating different people, but it was like always the same person, like same person, different face, right? Like exact same patterns, exact same dynamics, exact same treatment. Like I had to shift everything. So literally nothing's off the table. Shadow work is my jam. Like, there's nothing you could tell me that would be too crazy or weird. So, don't feel intimidated. If like you're feeling the pull to work with me, just know that like I can help you manifest whatever you want, because the process is the same. But I think it's important, like part of the reason I like sharing my stories, because I know sometimes, at least for me, when I first was starting working with mentors, I was not finding mentors who could go deep enough with me. So I wasn't fully like doing the shift internally deeply enough that I needed to. So, part of why I'm so open about what I've gone through is, one, I'm fucking proud of what I've led myself through. And I want you to know, like, if I did it, you can do it too. And I'm not scared of your stuff. I'm not scared of it. I like holding you while you go through it. That's what I'm here for. Let me read this message really quickly. Okay, I think you're kind of asking the same thing again. I'm not sure if like the answer I'm giving you is landing, but my answer is going to be the same. It's an internal process. And there's no way for me to like on a live be able to tell you what's going on with you. We'd have to work together. But yeah, guys, so I think that's everything I want to say about the mastermind. There's options to work with me one-on-one as well. I have self-paced programs, but Wealthy Woman is officially open. And the reason it's called Wealthy Woman, by the way, just side note, is because if you're new to my world, like maybe you don't know this, like what I stand for is women having it all. If you can't tell from this live, I'm very passionate about women stepping into their power and really reclaiming that. And not settling. I don't want you to settle in your income. I don't want you to settle in your impact. I don't want you to settle in your job. I don't want you to be overworking. I don't want you to settle in your body or your relationships. I don't want you to settle in anything, because it's not necessary. You get to go in and create anything you want. It's a matter of fully deciding. It's a matter of choosing to believe that you have the power to do it, and then fully backing that decision by doing the internal alignment work. All right, so I see some hearts. I'm so glad this resonated. Thank you for joining me. It was beautiful to spend some time with you. Happy to go live again, second time in a row this week. But yeah, it was coming up, and I'm happy to share it with you. So if you're interested in checking out the ways to work with me or info about the mastermind, it's all linked in my bio. You can check it there. You can also, if you have any questions about like details or anything about the program, feel free to reach out. So I am sending you love, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.